Dr. Julia Bradsher is joining us now. Dr. Bradsher is president and CEO of the Global Food Protection Institute in Battle Creek. And the Institute this week is hosting an event titled Innovations in Life Sciences and Technology in Improving Food Protection. She joins us to talk about that this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell us about the Institute and what you do there.
Well, the Global Food Protection Institute, as you said, we're located in Battle Creek, and we were established in 2009 with some startup funding from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. And our mission, we're really focused on protecting the public health by improving the safety of the world's food supply. And we do that through training. We have a technology initiative, and we also bring together food safety experts, such as the one we're doing this week in the form of symposia.
Give us some examples of some of the projects you're working on.
Well, we're working with a number of organizations, government and private sector. So we're working with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Resource Development, and we're looking at bringing training together. We provide training to inspectors and regulators around the country. We also work with universities like Michigan State University, and we're doing we're looking at the safety of fresh-cut produce around the U.S. And then we also have a project with Michigan State with Louisiana State, where we're actually going as far as Armenia to help address food safety.
Can you give us some examples of some of the technology that is making us safer?
Sure. So one of the technologies that we actually invested in about a year ago here in Michigan is a company called NanoReady, and they have developed a nanotechnology to improve the detection of pathogens in food. And they're based in Lansing. And what we liked about them, and the reason we were interested in investing in them in our seeding investment program, was that their detection technology can more rapidly detect the pathogens, and then it can also be brought into the field. So, for example, if you remember the cantaloupe outbreak that happened about 2 years ago, if that technology had been used then, they would have been able to detect the pathogens right on the trucks in the fruit before it ever got to the consumers. Wow.
That's important. There were a lot of deaths with that. That was a very major news story.
It was one of the most deadly outbreaks in 100 years. There were 146 people that became ill, and 30 people died.
It was interesting reading about your institute and some of the other agencies that look out for us in this regard, because I think we don't think about it. We just take for granted that when we go to the store and, get our food, it's safe to eat until we hear something in the news.
Yeah, that's true. And, what we've been doing for the past year is really working with a number of agencies at the federal, state, and local level, and with food industry companies to address what we call the integrated food safety system. And that's one of the things that this new Food Safety Modernization Act that came out, one of the things that it really promotes is that it's the public sector and the private sector working together in an integrated way to make sure that the public is kept healthy and safe.
You're going to be holding this event coming up on Wednesday. What can you tell us about that?
Well, we're partnering with MishBio, and we're really looking at addressing innovations in life sciences that could help to address food safety. And, if you think about Kalamazoo, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, there's a lot of people that are interested in biotechnology, a number of biotechnology companies, and there are many innovations in that area that may have application in food safety. And so what we wanted to do is partner with MishBio to really raise attention in this life sciences community with the opportunities in food safety. And so our symposium is going to look at how these technologies may be developed and become commercially available, and really just try to infuse this technology into food safety in a way that it hasn't been done previously.
You talked about some foodborne illnesses, but I understand allergies are a big topic of conversation in people in your industry now, too.
Yes, food allergies are growing in this country, and right now it's about 4% of the population, and among children, it's as much as 17% of children. And because of that, food allergens is an important area that when you are manufacturing or producing food, you really have to be aware of how you manage the allergens, and you also have to label the food properly. And so we help also train companies and inspectors in how to address allergens and labeling.
Because sometimes we'll see a label that will say, for instance, this factory also made candy with peanuts or something. Just they were in the area, so it could be dangerous. Yeah, and that they call precautionary labeling, and there's very, very little oversight of precautionary labeling. But, a consumer wants to know that if they read that it contains peanuts, for example, they know that they can trust that label is correct. And the thing that's very difficult for consumers is if a label says may contain, because then it's you don't know if it really has it or not. But better safe than sorry, I guess. That's true. And there was a study done a few years ago at the University of Nebraska, and they compared the may contain labels with the actuality. They actually went out and bought product off the shelves and compared, those labels to what was really in there. And what they found was that in the majority of cases, there really was that allergen in there when it said it may contain it. Whoa, so take heed if you see that label. That's right. Dr. Julia Bradsher is president and CEO of the Global Food Protection Institute in Battle Creek. Your event is coming up at the Fetzer Center on Wednesday. Is it too late to become involved in this for people who have interest in the subject? No, the event is open to the public. It's $100 for the full day, and it includes lunch and an evening reception. And we would certainly encourage people to go to our website, gfpi.org, and they're welcome to register and come to the event. We thank you so much for telling us about it this morning on 590 WKZO.